Welcome to another Adobe Script tutorial. We'll continue working in Photoshop. This time, I want to update the code for the progress window. The original progress function annoys me because it throws an error if closed before it's defined. So I came up with a different approach, and I'd like the new idea in our tutorial code as we continue building scripts. To start, I've copied the code from Tutorial 9 and made the title Tutorial 11. Go to the function Progress and remove it completely. Then scroll up to the top to the section Script Variables. Instead of a function to call, we'll create a progress object, which itself is a window object. So it needs a variable declared first. var progress. I'll also add a variation that doesn't have a progress bar, but lets the user know the script is working. We'll call that one working. var working. Now define both the progress and working objects. Go to just before the interface is defined. To the variable progress, we'll assign an actual window object. Progress equals new window, palette, progress. This time, I'm leaving out the code to disable the close button. Disabling it has caused some problems, and besides, in Photoshop it still displays but doesn't work, so better to leave it alone. The nice thing about JavaScript is that even though the variable progress is now a window object, we can still add properties to it. And properties of any object can be variables or even functions attached to it. We'll be adding both. Progress T equals progress add static text. This new property, T, is the text the window displays. Let's make it 450 pixels wide, default height. Progress T preferred size equals 450, -1. Now add the progress bar. Progress B equals progress add progress bar. And make it the same size as the text. Progress B preferred size equals 450 -1. Then, at least for Photoshop, add the text press escape to cancel. Progress add static text undefined press escape to cancel. Photoshop responds to the escape key, at least most of the time. In InDesign and Illustrator, I omit this extra line because escape doesn't always work. That creates the window for the progress bar, but it needs some additional functions for managing it. We'll attach the functions directly to the progress object, just as we did for the variables T and B. First is a function to display the window, and at the same time, set the text that appears. Progress display equals function message. Message and this T text equals message. This is a short circuit evaluation. If message is null, nothing happens because the first half of the AND evaluates to false. So JavaScript doesn't bother testing the second half, and so no text appears. But if message is set, then it's true, and the text property of T is set to the contents of the message argument passed, and it becomes the text that appears. Without the short circuit evaluation, when no message is passed, the result is undefined, and the literal text undefined would be displayed. We don't want that, which the short circuit keeps from happening. Now show the window. This, show. And for Photoshop, we need to refresh the app. App, refresh. For Illustrator or InDesign, use this update instead. The next function is increment to advance the bar. Progress, increment equals function this B value ++. Last is a function to set the steps, which in the case of this script is the number of files to process. Progress set equals function steps. This b value equals 0. This b min value equals 0. This b max value equals steps. That completes the progress object. Now an adjustment to how it's used. Go to the process function where progress is called the first time. Change the first call to progress to progress display and the message. Now it sets the message and shows the window at the same time. Next, find the call to progress message. Also change this to progress display. What we've done is simplify how it works by making a single function that shows progress and updates the text it displays. But one other thing I want to change. Instead of showing the doc name here, let's move this call to the process function files loop, so all progress calls come from the same function. I like that better. In that case, the text to display is files I name rather than doc name. The calls to set the steps and close progress remain the same. The advantage of creating a progress object is that you can call progress close at any time, even before progress is displayed the first time. If not showing, the call does nothing, but it doesn't throw an error like before if progress wasn't called first. I also have a variation without the progress bar. I'll drop in the code without explaining it all. It's pretty much the same, just without the set and increment functions. And no need to update the message for every file processed. If you pass a message argument, it's used, but if not, it defaults to working, please wait, using another short circuit evaluation. If you have a lot of images to process, this can be faster overall, in Photoshop anyway, because we have to call app refresh each time the message changes so the new text appears. Calling app refresh takes time. Not a lot, but it adds up. If you don't mind progress without the bar and updated message each image, use working instead. And it's better for a script that processes a single image. No need for a progress bar in that case. To use working instead, change the initial call from progress to working. I'll comment the line so we can restore it later. There's no need to pass a message, in which case it uses the default working message. Or pass something else if it's a special case and you want other text displayed. Your choice. Then omit the other calls to set, display, and increment. Those aren't needed. For now, I'll comment the lines to disable them. But keep close, of course, so the window goes away when done. Just change progress to working instead. I'll run the script to show the difference. Instead of a bar that increments each file, there is the same working message until done. I'll put it back to using progress and confirm that still works. Looks good. Like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe so you're notified of future videos. Also, leave a comment. I always like to hear from you. All feedback is welcome. There are plenty of other tutorials. Click the video or playlist on screen for more. Thank you for watching.